You're watching Soleful Discussions.
All right, so hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, I'm doing great. How did you and I meet today?
Me and my grandfather were walking by the beach.
Granddad right over there, chilling.
Yeah.
Absolutely, they get their walk in. So I approached you. What did I approach you about? What are we doing today?
An interview.
An interview for YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. In terms of the subject matter, what are your thoughts about like what we're going to talk about? I told you like being mindful about like your feet, and then also like in terms of your feet, how they can like affect like your stress level. What are your thoughts about that?
It kind of caught me off guard, not gonna lie, because I've never been approached with a topic like that before.
Have you ever been approached for a YouTube interview?
No.
Okay, so it's a first for you all the way around.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what do you think about it now that we're kind of talking about it a little bit? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a really interesting topic. I'm excited to learn more about it.
Okay, cool. So one of the things I always ask, like first, these are like a new set of interview questions I started. But when you think about that, when I'm talking about like being mindful of like your feet, right? Like when you go and do things, what does that mean to you?
My first thought was probably like, I thought it was kind of like a metaphor, maybe.
Okay.
Like it was something like how you could step into like goals and stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess you could look at it that way too.
I kind of reached a little bit.
Absolutely. What do you think about in terms of like when I'm talking about how your feet can impact your stress level? Like what does that mean to you?
Not really sure.
Yeah.
I haven't really put much thought into it.
So kind of like go out and do these interviews. Have you ever heard of reflexology before? Is that familiar to you? Okay. Reflexology deals with like pressure points that you have like that are in your hands, your feet. They actually like connect to different parts of your body. So like, if you go do a massage, you go do acupuncture, acupressure, like basically what it can do is like alleviate like tension in different parts of your body. So that's kind of when I go out and talk about this, like a lot of times we don't know we carry stress.
Yeah.
So like imagine yourself, right? When you go and walk and you take a step, right, on one foot, like most people think they're only putting like half their weight on one foot, but you're actually putting all your weight on one foot, right? So that's stress that you can kind of build up like every single day. Not to mention like if you're being stressed out at work or something, right? It can have an impact on you. So that's kind of what I mean. What are your thoughts about that now that I'm kind of like talking about it a little bit?
I didn't really I guess connect the dots at first. I didn't really know how much your feet could be involved with your stress levels in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
So think about like this too. Like a lot of people sometimes can have an injury, right?
Yeah.
I've heard people who have had like their hip is hurting, right? Or they have like something wrong with their back. A lot of times it's like because like your feet, you have something that's wrong there.
Yeah.
So like maybe you're wearing the wrong type of shoe. Maybe like you stepped the wrong way and you like made an awkward movement. All those things like have an impact throughout your
definitely.
body. So yeah, it's like very important to be mindful of that. So yeah, do you think now that you're gonna be more mindful of it now that you're kind of like gonna walk away today? With
Definitely.
Absolutely, and then your grandpa, he's getting some free information here too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's not wearing the right shoes at all.
Yeah, grandpa, we definitely need to wear some better shoes when you go on the walk, man.
I'm just breaking them in.
Oh, okay, breaking them in. All right,
His feet are gonna hurt later.
Absolutely. So like when we look at this first page right here, right, this is a breakdown of like different toe alignments that people can have, right? So basically like. A lot of times based on like where we're from, our ethnic backgrounds, a lot of times like that, we have our roots can be connected somewhere. A lot of times it has to do with like that toe connection right there. And a lot of times that can have an impact the way we walk, the way we do certain things, right? A lot of times people don't wear the right shoes, and a lot of times that can have an impact on your health like throughout. So for this next question, would you mind taking your shoes off just so that we can try to like match yours up with this right here to see like what the difference is?
My shoe?
And I want you to kind of like look at that and tell me which one do you think is closest to you?
Probably Roman.
Which one?
Roman.
The Roman? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you mind, look down, can you bring the book a little bit closer so we can kind of look at them both together? Like see. So the Roman is this one right here where it's basically your big toe and then the second toes are almost like the same size. Do you think that that's what you have like right there?
Yeah,
about the same size.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you kind of have a drop down with the next two toes, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now, has that ever been something that you've thought about?
No.
Right? Where's your family like hail from? Like where does Grandpa hail from?
He's Italian.
Italian?
Yeah.
Do you have any family that might have been around in like the Rome area? Anything like that?
What area?
Rome?
Rome?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that's where I'm from.
Oh, so there you go. See I imagine.
Yeah.
From Rome.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
There you go. So there it
I
is.
never
So
thought about that.
A lot of people don't think about that. Like when we're talking about this, so I like to try to bring this out to kind of like give you like a little background and stuff about that. So it's very important, like when you're wearing certain types of shoes, to know that though, because like some shoes are a little bit more narrow, some
Really?
can be a little bit wider. Very important to know about that.
I never knew that. I just bought whatever shoes.
Yeah, that's what most people do. But like, I don't know if you know this, but like most shoes like have like a certain style that they're made in. So like usually goes by like the inches. A lot of people don't pay attention to that in America. We just go by, I know if we're a size 9, so I'm gonna get a size 9. But like, a lot of times it converts to something different, and you need to pay attention to that. So, absolutely.
I'm definitely gonna need to.
Absolutely. So like if you kind of flip through and we kind of keep going on some of the next basics, have you ever heard of grounding and earthing before?
No.
So it's basically something that people do to like almost meditate in a way. So imagine that you had a long day at work or school, and like you come home and you're like, man, I'm out of it, right? Something you can do is go stand out in grass, right? So if you have a front yard, a backyard, what you do is when you're standing there, you try to be actively mindful about what you're thinking about. So in that moment, you try to focus on what you feel. So you feel the soft grass. Like, what do I hear? I hear birds chirping. What do I feel a cool breeze coming through. All those things.
Yeah.
And what it does is it starts to like make you focus more on that as opposed to focusing on what might have happened before or what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? Because like, you think that could be helpful to you in any kind of way? Or anything?
I definitely think it would be because
Absolutely. Why don't do something with grandpa?
I know.
Take him out there. Like, have you ever tried that before, grandpa? Like going to stand in grass and anything like that?
What now?
Have you ever gone and stand in grass like barefoot, just trying that, see how it feels? Have you ever tried that before?
Yeah.
Okay.
he can't really hear, so you have to talk to him a little bit loud.
Oh, nice. See? And so he's at those. What about for you? Have you ever been like, you try to do barefooting? Or?
No, not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Back in my days.
Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You had that protective shield. Now you don't have it.
Yeah, that protective shield. So if you kind of look on there, it tells you like some of the benefits that you can get from like earthing and grounding. So like you can reduce like inflammation, you can like reduce pain in your body. It improves like your sleep. Like if sometimes people have a hard time sleeping, something that can help you out there. Blood circulation, things like that. So what do you think about that?
I definitely feel like it's going to be useful to me. I'm probably going to have to try it because since quarantine, I was suffering from like a little bit of anxiety. So I feel like that would be very useful for me.
Absolutely. One of the things that we try to focus on in the channel too is talking about like a little bit about that, right? So one of the things I'll tell you, sometimes when you deal with anxiety, it's about the future, right? You're focusing on like, I don't know what's going to happen, what would happen next, right?
Yeah.
Something that helped me out, I talked to a therapist and she basically told me, have a 5-year rule. So what you do is you ask yourself, is this going to impact me in 5 years, right?
That's a good one.
If it's not, then like what are you really worried about? Because a lot of times we just worry about things for no reason. So like you should ask yourself that question more. And, like just, it's going to impact me 5 years from now? If not, then what am I tripping on?
You're right.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you want to go ahead and flip to the next page, then we kind of get into a little bit more like what foot massages like promotes good sleep, promote like reduces like fatigue and stress. How often do you get massages and things like that?
I don't.
You never, you don't ever go?
When
like,
I get my
pedicures?
when I get pedicures,
so they kind of do like the little half one. Yeah, absolutely. I think you should try to like look into that because like let's say if you're having pain in your body or you're dealing with any type of like stresses or anything like that in your body, one of the cool things you can do is like go to see somebody who's like they basically specialize in doing like reflexology massages. So like you tell them like what the problem is you're dealing with, and they start to like work those areas to help you out. So.
And that works for any part of your body?
Yeah. So like let's say for example, so if you flip to the next page, it actually has on there like the different areas that when you deal with like massages and stuff that it impacts. So you have areas for your head, you have areas for like your lungs, you have areas for like just different parts of your body, kidneys, all that stuff. So it can definitely be impactful for you. So what are your thoughts?
I never knew that. I'm actually amazed right now.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad that we're able to give you some information today, but it's definitely something that like I suggest to people, like especially like if you do a lot of like running or you do a lot of activities, definitely something that you should look into. Absolutely.
Very interesting topic.
Nice. So like when we talk about reflexology, we like to talk about sensitivity, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: you go get pedicures. Are you really sensitive to like when they're doing like the pumice stone and all that stuff? Does that tickle a lot, or?
A little bit, but not as much.
What would you say it is on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably like a 4.
Like a 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of manageable for you.
Yeah.
All right. Would you mind if we tested it just to check to see what that is? I'm actually using
I'm
a tool.
scared.
Huh?
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Like, but it's a tool that I'm using. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. If I can you check out both shoes and socks, and then we're gonna go ahead and try that out real quick.
Like I haven't had a pedicure in a while.
Oh, don't worry. We're not. Nobody's judging you or anything like that. All right, cool. So if you can put your feet out,
Both
straight
of them?
like this, yeah, straight like this. And so what we're gonna do is kind of flex your feet up a little bit, like that. Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the right,
Shake
and we're gonna
a
try the left. What I want you to do is tell me which foot is most sensitive and where do you feel it at the most.
Okay.
Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. 1, 2, 3, and so it's pretty sensitive.
Yeah.
What would you say it is on a scale out of 1 to 10?
Probably a 7.
Like a 7?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try your left, and then I want you to tell me if that one's more sensitive.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and
Probably more sensitive.
so this one's more sensitive.
Yeah.
All right. Where do you say you feel it at the most? Is it like the arch area, the bottom, the top?
Probably the arch.
The arch
like
area.
right here.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to try this out. Okay. So while I'm doing it, I want you to wiggle your toes. You tell me if you feel it less. Okay. While you're doing it. So kind of put them back up like this. All right. So 1, 2, 3. Wiggle. More or less.
Less.
Do you know why?
No.
So basically, like, think about your mind, right?
Uh-huh.
It's connected to every part of your body, right? So like, think about it this way: you're telling your body to do something. Do this, right? So it's almost like you're distracting yourself in a way. But
Sure.
also, because you're doing this, I'm applying energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're reversing my energy back. So you're like dispersing the energy to different places. So as a trick for you, you get your pedicures. If it's a little ticklish, just
Start wiggling my
wiggle your
toes.
a little bit. Try wiggling your toes and your fingers and tell me how it is. Let's try your left. So wiggle your toes and your fingers. Like,
On both hands?
Yeah, do it. More or less.
Less.
Less. There you go. That's a trick for
Wow.
you. Absolutely.
How
So
did you
get
figure that out?
There it is. So I'm going to have you do a couple exercises with your feet real quick.
Uh-huh.
If you can, just kind of put your feet up straight like this if you can, okay? So I want you to do first, bend your toes, make a fist. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Is that easy to do? Is it hard to do?
It's easy to do.
Relax. Spread your toes. Tell me if you feel pain or discomfort. Easy?
Easy.
Okay. Wiggle your toes about 10 seconds. Tell me if you feel any pain, discomfort, any cramping happening. Is it kind of easy to do?
Yeah.
All right, cool. These are tricks that you can do at home, like to create more flexibility, dexterity in your feet, like if you don't have enough of that. And the last thing I'm gonna have you do is I want you to try this. So this is something you can do for massages at home. Like let's say that you don't do a lot of stretching at home with your feet, I would imagine, right? Okay. You can get a tennis ball. All you gotta do is just roll your foot across it like this in the mornings. It'll start to loosen up some of the muscles. So go ahead and give it a try real quick. Let's see what it feels like, and just tell me like where you feel it at. Do you feel it in like your arch area? Does it feel like it's kind of stretching? Like what do you feel? How's it feel?
Feels good.
Feels good?
Feels like
Okay.
it's relieving tension here.
There you go. So something else you can do, try it on your left too, because a lot of times I would imagine, are you right-handed?
Yeah.
You plan on your left foot a lot, I would
Yeah.
imagine, right?
I feel it definitely more in
You
this
feel
one.
it more now
Yeah.
because you're on your left foot, you're more sensitive, that's why. So one of the things you can do is with a tennis ball or a golf ball. You try with a golf ball, you get even deeper into
Yeah.
those muscles and stuff. So you might want to try that out, like when you have time.
I will.
Absolutely. So let's wrap up the interview. I know you guys got to get back on your wall. In terms of my approach, when I came up to you, I asked you to do the interview. Did you feel my approach was good? Was it bad? How did you feel about it?
It was good. You made me feel comfortable and welcomed.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
In terms of the interview, start to finish, did you see how everything was going along in the line? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new from the information?
It was very informational. I really liked it.
Absolutely. Hopefully you can take some of this stuff along and it'll be helpful for you.
I will. I'm definitely going to teach him
yeah,
about
that's
it.
all too, man. Especially about the
Yeah.
shoes, man. We gotta get you some better shoes for walking,
I
Grandpa.
just had these I want to break them in.
Oh, I feel it.
He has like
last-
2 walking shoes.
Yeah,
I break shoes in.
I feel it. The last thing I want to ask you, is there anything that you could say to my channel that could be helpful to them? Like maybe if they're dealing with like a stressful situation, maybe it's something you learned in life, some wise words somebody said to you. Anything you can say?
Something that I learned, or kind of like how to cope with stressful situations, is God.
Nice.
Yeah, I turn to God for everything. I put God first.
I mean, you can never go wrong there, man.
Yeah.
Like you putting your trust in, put your trust in man. You're gonna come up wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Definitely putting your trust in higher power.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Well, thank you so much.
No
Definitely
problem.
appreciate
Thank
you
you
guys
for
stopping
having
to do
me.
this with us.
No
All right.
problem.
And we hope that you have a great one. Okay.
Thank you, you too.
All right.